What did you do your day with the Stanley Cup?
Well, we had it at my house in the morning, which was nice. Just kids, family, obviously, a couple friends, and then we took it to the arena I played in growing up in Bolton, Connecticut. I started there when I was 3, so we had it there for a little bit into the afternoon, and then what I did after that will stay between me and the people who were there.
How cool an experience is that in the grand scheme of life?
In the grand scheme of life, it's up there. You know, it all seems somewhat surreal, to be honest. You know, from you know, the last minute and a half, you know, you're tied. All of a sudden, you're winning in Game 6. You know, and then you won all the way through. It was pretty hard to describe, certainly.
Your decision to come here, what motivated it for you?
Well, a bunch of things. I mean, you go through that week, and you know, it's interesting now. That's my first time with like the talking, feeling out period, or whatever you want to call it. And so it's interesting. You know, it seems like on Monday you have 12 options. You know, and by Friday maybe you're down to 3 or 4. So as we got later on in the week, we narrowed it down to 3 teams that, you know, were all in the same range as far as where we were going to go 2 years and stuff like that. And this moved to the top of the list just for the type of young team it is and the chance I think we have here in the next 2 years to build on, you know, what was started here last year, which was you know, a heck of a first-round series against Washington, who, you know, could have easily carried on further. You know, Pittsburgh, obviously, where I was, we beat them in 7 games. That series very easily could have went the other way. So it's a team that I was very excited to have the opportunity to join.
How hard were the Leafs to play against? Those forwards?
Well, very hard. I mean, you know, when Pittsburgh, you know, they clinched, I should say they, but, you know, Toronto, it wasn't me at the time, so it's hard to describe. You know, Toronto clinched against Pittsburgh at home. It was a heck of a game. We played well, but they kind of you know, we had the lead, but they stuck with it. They did a really good job of giving us a hard time in the neutral zone, really picked us apart a little bit through the middle of the ice, and were able to get the win and clinch a playoff spot. It's an impressive group, so I'm just very excited to be a part of it.
Can you use that Stanley Cup experience now moving forward here, Ron, do you think?
Well, it doesn't hurt. You know, I mean, you know, we all have to remember up until February 23rd, I was building on a pretty impressive resume of non-Stanley Cup experience, so things turned quickly. Obviously, I was very fortunate to join the team I did that had a, you know, real crack at it, along with some others, and so if I learned anything in those couple months, hopefully I can use that to my advantage going forward.
Certainly you'll be looked at for that, I would think, because this is a fairly young group of defensemen that you're joining here. Quite a bit of experience, but
yeah,
not exactly grizzled.
No, not grizzled. You're right. You know, we got some guys. You know, obviously Morgan's only 23 or whatever, but he's played for however many years, 5 years now. So he's seen a few things. Some other guys are getting there. But we'll get rolling. You know, these guys know how to play. Like I said, you know, I played against them a few times last year, but I remember the Pittsburgh game where they clinched just because it was a bigger game and it was towards the end of the year. They all start to blend together. But it's a group that certainly from the top down, you know, they know how to play. They're well coached and they got some skill and some guys who can put the puck in the net. I should say we know. And so, you know, we'll just get going and see how it goes.
What did you learn about Sidney Crosby that you didn't already know, being up close?
I don't know. It's a longer answer than a golf tournament answer. You know, we'll talk about that down the road.
What did you see? What do you see in a guy like Austin Matthews and what he can build off a 40-goal season going into?
Yeah, it's a heck of a way to start. You know, love to see him get 60. That'd put us a long way. But you know, he's a great talent. Obviously, big body, great hands. Tough to defend around the net because you're not going to push him around. I mean, there's a lot to like about his game. So I'm just getting to know him, obviously, on a day-to-day basis, and you know, certainly seems like not just for him, but for a bunch of these guys, the sky's the limit. So we'll see.